Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
Look in your home. Look in your office. Look in your home office. Everywhere you turn, there's so much smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. Our game-changing FlexPath format puts you in control of your master's degree, so you can learn how, when, and where you want. Smart, huh? Yeah, we think so too. So if you want to take the next step in your career, make Capella your first step. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. And now, here are your hosts.
It's Fantasy Hacks, plural. We're back for Week 10. I'm Chris. JR's hanging out with me.
What up, everybody?
So's Jack.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and I get the booby prize this week. I lost to a team who stopped setting their lineup. A team who rosters such people as Antonio Brown. I lost in our league, JR, this week. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's not the first time it's happened to me either.
But it's almost as sad as losing both of your Yahoo leagues. One 130.96 to 130.52. The other, I think I lost by 0.02. Let me see. The Bourbonators lost, let me see, here it is. The Bourbonators lost 112.20 to 112.00.
Ooh.
So,
ow.
Appropriately named the Bourbonators because they drive me to drink when you lose a game like that. And I think the Black Cat got me in that one because I had Evan Ingram, who was 2 yards from tying the game for me.
Oh, wow.
3 more yards. Thanks, Evan Ingram.
The newest
nothing.
The newest Cleveland Brown.
The Black Cat.
The Black Cat.
Should have drafted the Black Cat. At least he scored.
Yeah.
So they asked me why I drink.
Yeah, it's a tough week. Another tough week for me. I went 2-3 again. Ouch.
5-5.
Yeah, and Jack, apparently you did well.
4-1.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, well.
Hey,
my Vegas
course.
league. Not only did I lose in my Vegas league, I scored the lowest in the league, which is a $10. We have a tradition where the lowest score in the league pays $10 to the highest score in the league, which makes for great trash talking, except when you finish at the bottom like I did this week.
Ooh.
And I was number 1 in points scored and lost that lead now. So, where's that bourbon?
Yeah, hey, I got a league where the guy who scored the most points is in, 6th place. So it's
hey, I'm in, I think, last place, and I had, up until this week, I had the most points in the league.
Oh, it's why we do it, everybody.
It's why we do it, and it's why I have barrel strength bourbon.
Yeah,
Just all the stuff.
My only loss of the week was against you.
Oh,
well, there's some satisfaction for that.
There you go.
Yes, unfortunately.
But I'll tell you that the one where I lost against the team who has not set his lineup, who's pretty much abandoned his team, that just proves that if you have CMC this year, you win. Because that's one of the people he has. It's a good guy. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to him, because there's big implications surrounding the Panthers this week. So I guess let's just jump right in to reviewing the games last Thursday night. It was Minnesota and Washington, and yeah, this Minnesota offense finally looking how they were supposed to look, in my opinion, when they gave Kirk Cousins all that money, even without Adam Thielen. Yeah, Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. Stephon Diggs, another quiet game. Do you cut bait with him, JR?
No, I don't think so. He had a couple big games. It's frustrating not to have consistency. But again, Thielen's hurt, so he's going to be the...
Oh, and I'm also talking about 2 weeks ago. I should talk about San Francisco and Atlanta as well. That was the Halloween game. Yeah. It was almost a trick instead of a treat for the 49ers. They hold off Arizona by 3 points. Kyler Murray is looking okay, but I think the story, at least on the Arizona side of the ball, was Kenyon Drake. Anything to get excited about there, guys?
Jeez, what about the other guys? There's so many. It's a three-headed monster now, depending on health. But I have to admit, Drake looked pretty good, and that was against a good defense.
Well, how injured is Chase Edmonds? Him or David Johnson? Well, it's not David Johnson because he played, or he's allegedly going to play. But I mean, Edmonds has to be really hurt if they sign Kenyon Drake.
Hey, well, can you imagine being Kenyon Drake? You're out of Miami. No wonder he went off.
Yeah, but you went to Arizona. I mean,
Hey, anything's a promotion from Miami, unless you go to the Jets.
He should have been a Lion.
Le'Veon Bell.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Kenyon Drake should have been a Lion. That's where he should have went. He would have been starting.
Would have, should have.
Probably would have had a job after the season was over. San Francisco, Emmanuel Sanders looks like he's going to fit just fine in that offense.
Sure does.
Had himself a day. Is Jimmy G worth rostering yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, good to know.
I think so.
Because I had a league where I'm because we'll get there, but Minshew Mania is over, so I had to.
Oh, sure is.
I had to pick up someone to replace him, and it's the best I could find was Jimmy G. So I got my fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. Nick Foles coming back. Never know.
Yeah.
Minshew was just a turnover machine. He was just awful in London.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he's happy to be back in the mainland because that was just ugly. Turnover after turnover. Until Daniel Jones showed him up last night. Kind of one-upped him on the turnovers, too, against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
I'm sure you were loving, even though an NFC East team had to take a win, I'm sure you were loving seeing the Giants just falling apart again. Let's just get to the Sunday slates, and the first game, you pretty much nailed it about Jacksonville and Houston.
Oh.
Minshew's done. It was a good run. You had a good couple months, but we'll see you on the bench, Gardner. Carlos Hyde, the leading rusher in this game. Yikes! I thought you had Leonard Fournette, Jacksonville.
Yeah, he disappeared. It was last year's Leonard Fournette back.
Yeah.
Came back. We liked this year's up until this week.
Keelan Cole, the big receiver. And if you're owning D-Hop this year, you got to just be going, what the hell?
Oh, man, I can't. And I do own him, and I am going, what the hell, because it's just inexplicable. He was like, Mr. Reliable, 100 yards every week last year. It's like, who is that in that jersey? Can't be the same guy.
It's not like he's had a change of the person throwing to him. So, yeah. And two, I believe in most leagues, he was the first receiver off the board. So it's got to be very frustrating if you own him. Washington at Buffalo. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, Adrian Peterson's out there if you need a running back.
That's one of those games. Well, not so fast. I heard Darius Geis is coming back, but that's one of those games where people leave tickets on their dashboard hoping someone will steal them.
Yeah, people break in,
but they don't.
Devin Singletary had himself a game fantasy wise.
Hey, that's a great development because finally the ageless Frank Gore. Why would you keep playing this dinosaur who's had a great career? Nothing against Gore, but he is a dinosaur now. And then you got this young buck. I know he's been hurt, but do the right thing. Play the young guy and see what he's got. Test him out. You got nothing to prove playing Gore. Come on.
And I think if you look at Devin Singletary's points since he's been back, it looks it's pretty obvious now. You can see they were just working him back in.
Yeah, and I read something good about that, and it just said, Singletary has the opportunity to rip those big long ones, and Gore just doesn't have that capability anymore.
Yeah.
He's a great between the tackles runner. He'll get his 5-6 yards for you, but he is not capable any longer of doing a 50-60 yard scamper. Whereas Singletary has that explosiveness still because he's a young buck.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard to.
So I'm happy because I have Singletary, and he has been worthless for me, but I have patiently kept him rostered. And we'll probably have to start him this week with a bunch of players on bye.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's hard to rip those big, long runs when you're 64 years old. Minnesota at Kansas City. Casey gets out of this one barely.
Yeah. My big disappointment in that game, I shouldn't be disappointed, but I finally cut bait on Damian Williams, and here he comes back. Yeah,
but I mean, it's only a 1 week thing. That's
you don't know. As soon as I pick him up, he'll be worthless. And I picked him. I'm trying to pick him up in one league anyway. I've put it away. But
it's a Chiefs running back. It's this could be it for another 3 weeks for him, or he could have. Who knows? It's like we've been saying. Stay away from Kansas City running backs. Just they're not consistent. It's just I don't want any part of the Kansas City backfield. I mean, I'm rostering Shady McCoy in one league, and he comes out every so often, but it's not consistent.
I can't help myself. I have some teams that are really weak at running back, and I got to take a stab at Damian Williams after seeing last week. And I know you'll be sitting there saying, "See, I told you so" next week, but I can't help myself.
Yeah. Cheetah is Cheetah. Matt Moore's looking serviceable. Not sure. Mahomes still got that big red Q by him for this week. I don't think they're going to rush him back either. I think it's how.
Who they playing? I think don't they have a weak opponent this week? Maybe.
Who?
Kansas City.
Who's Kansas City play this week?
They're in Tennessee against the Titans.
Yeah, I'd sit him out.
Yeah,
I think Matt Moore can get him through that one.
Yeah, I'd sit Mahomes too.
Yeah, don't do what the Eagles did with Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about that one.
So somebody was right. Minnesota, Thielen plays one play, goes back out. Now I'm seeing articles today that they're not going to rush him back. Stephon Diggs, like you were saying, JR, you can't cut bait with him. There's too much volume there. Kirk Cousins, someone worth looking at on the waiver wire. He busted into the top 10 this week as far as quarterbacks.
I think he's long gone off the waiver wires by now. I think he's been picked clean, at least in all my leagues.
I saw him today. Saw his face on a few of my waiver wires, but yeah, if he's there, grab him. But like JR said, it's iffy. It's really iffy. Oh yeah, the toilet bowl. The Jets at Miami. Oof.
Well, I was absent last week on the broadcast. I was in Las Vegas on business. But Jack tells me that you predicted the Jets would lose to the Dolphins. So kudos.
If I had any bold predictions, that was my bold prediction that the Dolphins would pick themselves up a W.
That's impressive because I didn't think they were going to win a game this year. But
the Jets really won because now their draft pick stock was higher.
Yeah, well, the winner of that game was the Bengals. All right, that's who the winner of that game was.
Yes, tank for Tua.
Just end the season.
Yeah. The only thing out of this game really is, and maybe Jack will be getting to it, maybe he won't later, Devontae Parker is somehow making his way into fantasy relevance because of this game. Yikes.
I was going to put him in waiver wire, but I already have another Dolphin. So
I didn't think I'd be saying this season, but the numbers bear it out. Chicago at Philly. All of a sudden, there's life in Philadelphia there, John.
Well, there was a lot of life for the first half, but the second half, the Eagles let the Bears back in it. But from a fantasy standpoint, Deshaun Jackson, a lot of people sat on him. And he played, he got one catch for 5 yards, I think it was.
I believe it was 6.
Oh, okay. and promptly left the game, and now he's on IR out for the season. And everybody in Philadelphia was like, don't rush him back. Everybody's like, he's probably needs surgery. Shut him down. And, of course, why would you put him in the week before a bye week?
Yeah.
Let him rest one more week. That buys him 2 weeks to get healthier. And now he's gone for the season. So
someone who sits in this chair behind this microphone said we'd probably seen the last of him.
I don't think that's true, but it could be. But he's getting up there. But if he can come back from, he still had his speed until the abdomen injury. It's probably some kind of a sports hernia. We'll see. But he's certainly gone for this year. He's on IR. I don't expect him back. So the Eagles are really reeling. They needed that long, deep threat. They don't have anybody to stretch the field now.
You let Josh.
For the love of God, why is Mac Hollins still on the Eagles roster as a wide receiver? He has certainly never been fantasy relevant, and he's really not probably an NFL player.
You guys let Josh Gordon fall to Seattle in the waivers.
Bring back Jordan Matthews. Bring him back third time.
Well, that'll solve everything.
No, it won't.
Yeah, they got the rookie, R.C. Whiteside. Hey, anybody's better than Hollins. I want Hollins inactive, cut, whatever. Sayonara, and we'll see what happens. But that's really troubling. We were happy to see the return of the real Zach Ertz, who actually broke the 100-yard and got a touchdown. So that was people that have been patient with him were rewarded with a big day. Wentz was so-so. What a disappointment. I drafted him in tons of leagues. Fortunately, in many of those leagues, I drafted Russell Wilson after Wentz as a backup plan, and he's probably the MVP of the NFC.
Yeah. Also looks like Jordan Howard it's results are in. Jordan Howard's the back to own in this offense.
Yep, but don't discount Miles Sanders. He's still actually really good receiving threat, too. So it's kind of a thunder and lightning there. But again, that kind of takes away from, you'd rather have a back that's stable. But, you're going to get probably 80 yards and a touchdown with Howard, and you could do a lot worse. Mm-hmm. He's not going to get 100 too often, but I knew he'd have a big day against his old mates in Chicago, and he did come through.
All right, so it's 2 weeks in a row.
What about Chicago, though?
I was going to say,
Chicago?
2 weeks in a row with David Montgomery. Are we buying it?
With the bye weeks, he's probably going to make his way into some lineups. I'm not sold on him. I think the biggest disappointment against the Eagles was Allen Robinson. I mean, the Eagles secondary is atrocious. I know that. I watch the Eagles every week. And I think Taylor Gabriel had a couple bombs, but what happened to Robinson? He had like one catch for 6 yards.
The problem is written on the back of his jersey. His name is because it's Allen Robinson. Like Chicago needs an offense. Chicago needs a receiver in the worst way.
I think they need a replacement for Mr. Trubisky.
Well,
honestly,
that as well.
I blame him more than I blame Robinson.
Hey, maybe Cam Newton will go there. We'll get to him in the field.
Placed on IR today.
Oh, yep. Which is with no trade deadline. That's kind of now how you got to pick up people. They got to get go to IR, drop to waivers, all that process. I have the feeling that's kind of the beginning of that. Like just Carolina and Cam Newton are just kind of going to go their separate ways.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way because they're winning without him. Maybe it's addition by subtraction.
Yeah, I mean, let's skip over. We'll talk about that game too. It was only a couple games afterwards. It's Carolina 30-20 over the Titans. CMC, that offense apparently goes through him, and it's gonna now. If you have him on a team, no doubt you're in good shape. 4 weeks before the end of the regular season here for fantasy. DJ Moore had himself a little bit of a game.
Of course he did. I benched him.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys. You bench him, he scores. You put him in the lineup, he's invisible.
How'd Derrick Henry do there, Jack?
Then DJ Moore. All right, let's see here. 13 rushes, 63 rushing yards, rushing touchdown, 3 for 3, 36 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown. Solid day.
So, he had himself a solid fantasy day.
See, they got to get Derrick Henry 20 carries. Remember the end of last year when he was getting like 150, 200 yards a game? They were giving him the rock. 13 carries is not enough. Titans are the Titans.
Yeah, and I think we talked about anybody were fantasy relevant in that game at all. Indy at Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, Pittsburgh, we left you for dead. You're 4-4. I think Jacoby Brissett going out kind of had something to do with it. It sounds like he's going to miss maybe 1 week, if any time
they have
at all.
received a blessing as they are playing the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be foolish to put him in.
It's like they have a bye.
The football gods have shown mercy.
Agreed. For the Steelers, James Conner could be back this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jalen Samuels owners, and I had big hopes for Samuels. He didn't. What was his stats, Jack? He didn't do anything last week, and he was the bell cow for the Steelers, and they won the game, and he still did hardly anything.
He only had 8 rushes for 10 rushing yards, and he actually caught 13 of 13 for 73 receiving yards, but he lost a fumble. So.
Great for PPR league, not so much for the standard league I had him in. But, my biggest disappointment of all on the Steelers, and this guy's just about dead to me. I'm benching him. Juju Smith-Schuster. The Juju is not there this year.
No, because AB is not there. AB essentially was getting Juju the ball.
Did you see the rumor that that there was a rumor that there was a chance the Steelers were inquiring about it? Oh no, that was Le'Veon Bell. It wasn't AB.
No,
what a weird turn of events that would have been if they brought Le'Veon Bell back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Steelers were actually one of the teams that inquired about him at the trade deadline. No, there's a rumor with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Eagles. Your Eagles are John and Antonio Brown.
You know what?
Bring the cancer here.
I'd take them. Right now, I'd put up with the antics. The cupboard's bare, man.
Well, I was going to say, with your receiving core, I'd take them in a second. Sign him up. Great. Cool.
You know what? Please. I never thought I'd say it because I don't like all the baggage that comes along, but, I mean, we're out options.
Yeah, right. A couple other things on this Pittsburgh game. Your boy, Zach Pascal there, Jack, had himself an all right game.
Well, he decides to be invisible last week after blowing up, and then, of course, as soon as everybody benches him because he's not legit, he catches 5 or 6 for 76 yards and a touchdown.
Well, he's the number one receiver right now. T.Y. Hilton's out. Is he going to be out again?
Let's see here. It says he is out. Well, last week he was out, and I feel like against the Dolphins, if there's any question, I'd just bench him. No point.
Yeah, it could be a big day for Pascal against the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. And then starting the 4:00 games, Detroit at Oakland. Hooray! Matt Stafford. He is becoming. He's top 10 fantasy quarterback. Currently ranked number 6. I actually have a league where I had him, Matt Ryan, and Dak Prescott rostered because of Ryan's injury, and I actually let Ryan go this week. Matt Stafford is actually, also too because I have Kenny Galladay on the team, but Matt Stafford's actually worth owning if he's still on your waiver wires and you need a QB. He might be better than what you have. God, I hate to say that because they just put up 406 and lost, but this isn't a Lions podcast. It's a fantasy football podcast.
This was season high in fantasy points for Mr. Stafford.
Yeah.
I can't resist. What is your feelings on the final play of the call in that 4th down? Or what did they do? They went to the 3rd string tight end with the game on the line? Mm-hmm. What do you do with same old Lions?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's... I expected it. After they made the Giants look competitive, I pretty much expected this game to go down like this.
Well, it was weird because the Raiders called the timeout. And I figured I could see that play happening, like when they have no huddle and they don't have a game plan and they have to just make something out of nothing. But they had the timeout to plan the play that they wanted to do, and that's what they came up with.
John Gruden gifted them a timeout, and that's what you did with it. Good job. Josh Jacobs had himself a game. Kenny Galladay had himself a game.
I'm a big fan of Josh Jacobs. I drafted him
Rookie
this
of the
year. He's been solid. He's going to tear it up in Las Vegas when they move. He's having a great year. Ty Williams, did he score?
I think he had himself an average game.
Let's see. What? Actually, no. He was virtually invisible. 3 for 4 for 48 yards.
Yikes.
Well, Jacobs, going back to your Singletary thing, they're giving him the rock with 28 carries.
There you go. Look at the Eagles ran the ball with Howard too. I mean, teams that are establishing that run are winning. You got to get your guys in a rhythm, but you can't go 3 and out.
Well, then it begins with the play action pass. And get the run going.
When's the last time the Lions had a 100-yard rusher?
1998.
Oh, is that Barry Sanders?
That's the year he retired, yeah.
Okay.
Tampa Bay at Seattle. Boy, if you owned Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett this week, you got yourself a whole mess of points.
Talk about stacking.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have Russell Wilson in a lot of leagues, and I think I won every game that he was playing. Lights out.
Yeah.
Man, and I can't believe I drafted him to be my backup quarterback, and now he's like the stud of the league.
That's me with Lamar Jackson on a couple teams.
Yep. Yeah, you remember. I mean, we've reiterate this almost every week. At the beginning of the season, we warned everybody, don't waste a high draft pick on a quarterback. These guys were going in the 10th, 12th rounds, and they're world beaters. And everybody that drafted Pat Mahomes in the 3rd round, granted, he's still a great quarterback when healthy, and you can't control injuries, but there's a much greater value to be waiting on your quarterback. Live it and learn it.
Or if you reached for Aaron Rodgers, congratulations, you reached for a big pile of average, at least this season.
Oh, boy, what happened this week?
Yeah, we'll get there. Blah, blah, blah. More in the Tampa Bay-Seattle game. It seems Mike Evans' inconsistency woes are over. We've got, a good 3 games in a row of production from him.
Yeah, now you got Chris Godwin being the inconsistent one.
Yeah. Well, it's who's throwing to him. Chris Carson has himself a game. As far as anybody else on Tampa Bay, you don't want to own him.
Well, hey, Ronald Jones was named the starter, so at least he's no more Peyton Barber. It's the Ronald Jones show.
Mm-hmm.
But again, how many carries is he going to get? They seem to be really a throwing team.
Yeah.
And if they give Ronald Jones 15, 20 carries, maybe he gets 89 to 100 yards, but he'll probably get last week, but they are, he got 18 carries for how many yards?
18 rushing attempts, 67 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown. Got 2 for 2 for 15 yards.
There you go. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm probably going to start him this week in a couple of weeks.
I picked him up after Edmonds got hurt. Or it was like crunch time. It was like 5 minutes until game time, and I'm deciding between Barber or Jones, and I picked up Jones, and it turned out to win the raffle on that one.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Barber got a whole.
I'm pretty sure he's
for 15 yards.
I'm pretty sure it's time to cut bait on Barber because the Bucs actually announced that Ronald Jones is the starting back. Yep. Of course, injuries could happen, but I wouldn't feel bad about cutting Barber at this point because even if he has to play, you know what you're getting there. And
it's wildly inconsistent.
Touchdown dependent.
Yeah. Cleveland at Denver. Oh, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Cleveland. I don't even know what to say.
You know what? I cut bait on Baker Mayfield like a month ago, and it was cathartic.
Oh yeah, I cut him a while ago. The team I had him on, and I'm not regretting it.
I don't know what's going on there, but this reminds me of the year that the Eagles said they had a dream team, and they brought all these studs in and played like crap because the Browns are playing like the color on their helmets.
Hype trains, gotta love them.
I think they need to put the poop emoji on their helmets this week.
Yeah.
Even Nick Chubb, I think, disappointed this week, didn't he? What did he do, Jack?
Not well.
20 carries, 65 yards, caught 4 for 5 for 26.
Meh. For that many carries, that's a meh.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see Kareem Hunt anytime soon. That's a curious.
I saw an article today that Freddie Kitchens says absolutely. He said there's a
Hunt
role
will
for him.
definitely have a role.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
As he's expected to play this week.
Wow.
Noah Fant might have made himself fantasy relevant.
That's funny. One of the Sirius XM shows I listened to on the Fantasy Channel were discussing him last week, and they're like, no, stay away. Broncos offense, blah blah blah. The guy was eating crow this week. He had a pretty long score. What was his stats, Jack?
Well,
Noah
on
Fant.
3 catches on only 4 targets, 115 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Who
sounds.
would have thunk?
those opportunities?
Who would have thunk?
Those looks sound like he's a boomer bust guy, but you never know because there's a new QB in town in Denver.
That
So
new guy, yeah.
Nowhere to go but up.
yeah,
Nowhere to go but Fant, other than maybe Sutton.
yeah,
Boy,
and-
what a depressing game that must have been to watch.
yeah.
It's like watching paint dry.
Hey, speaking of depressing, well, only if you're a Packers fan, Green Bay at the Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
The Chargers got a new OC. I think that's half of what happened. Ken Wisenhunt got relieved of his duties in Week 9.
Well,
What about
something
Mr.
inspired
Rogers?
them up. Yeah, what did that Charger defense get inspired? That had nothing to do with the OC. That Charger defense looked like a real defense. Where's that been all year?
They went out, got some of that California sun.
I think Aaron Rodgers turned into Mr. Rogers last week.
Yeah, he put on a
Put on his
sweater.
cardigan sweater. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, at least if you're a Charger fan. And no, they're not moving to London, by the way.
Yeah. Look at that.
Alex Spanos adamantly stated that their home is Los Angeles,
We know because Jacksonville's
Go to St. Louis.
proving his ineptitude.
yeah.
St. Louis.
Anywhere but Los Angeles. There's
Well,
no,
I mean,
there's
we'll
no
see
way
how
Los
this works from
Angeles is
Avis
going to
Stadium.
support the Chargers. It won't matter.
What's going on with Keenan Allen?
What's going on with Keenan Allen is right. Nothing. What is it? What were his stats?
3 for 4, 40 yards.
Yeah, for the number 12 ranked receiver in
Deplorable.
football. I was begging a guy to trade me Lamar Jackson for him because
He's been
he's got-
irrelevant since week 3.
Like, is he hurt? What's going on?
Jeez, who knows? He's not hurt.
It was another disappointing day for the number 1 wideout, who now has just 154 yards over his past 3 games, never clearing 61 in the process.
Killing me, Keenan.
And I'll take him out and put him on the bench, and he'll have 150 yards and 2 scores this
Well,
week.
who is profiting off his departure from relevance? You know who it is?
Hunter Henry.
Mr. Hunter Henry, yes. Job 7 of 10 for 84 yards. Love to see it.
Well, and I have both of them on the same team. At least I've got one of them playing. And that was a good pickup because somebody dumped him, and I grabbed him when he was on IR and sat on him until he got healthy. So that paid off.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a guy that I scrambled to pick up when he came off of IR. You know, I scrambled to pick him up on a few waiver wires, and that has paid off immensely. I'm with you there. And Green Bay, just Devontae Adams comes back, but not so you'd really notice.
Nope. I think the Packers took the week off. I don't know who that was in those uniforms, but
It's
Did you phrase jet lag?
what's it? It's
Jordan,
lag?
maybe Minshew was actually in an Aaron Rodgers Halloween disguise because I don't know.
I'm with you, Jack. It was an East team going west. That tends to matter sometimes. Yeah, and then maybe
And you gained an hour of sleep,
yeah.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
except for us, those of us in Arizona. The clocks don't change here.
It's true.
Now we're 2 hours off the East Coast instead of 3, so it's still confusing. It's
Yes.
like we got to wait now another hour for the games to start.
Yeah,
Which isn't.
and then the Sunday night game.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, Don Shula is sleeping well, everybody. That record is safe.
16-0.
Yeah. New England
Jesus.
at Baltimore. Man, how about Lamar Jackson?
How
How about
about
the Baltimore D?
Yeah.
Maybe
The
read
Ravens
these. I
look
want to
pretty
read
good.
the stats. 20 points allowed, 2 sacks, a pick, a fumble recovery. They scored a touchdown. Tackles for loss, 2 3-and-outs. Pretty good.
I think the Ravens had a lot of fans that night too. Anybody not in New England was rooting for the Ravens.
Their games always seem like a college game. I don't know why. They play the music in the background. They actually have a band.
Dude, they're running that college style offense.
Design
You know
runs. Design
It
QB runs.
was a thing of beauty to watch, though, especially if you have Lamar Jackson like I do. In a
Oh,
few leagues.
that is Michael Vick 2.0.
Oh yeah.
There is always
Just-
2 running backs on the field, no matter when he is playing. It is great.
You just have to wonder, though, how long is it sustainable before he gets hurt?
He's one Carson Wentz injury away.
Doesn't seem to be a slider. He seems to just ball out, and sooner or later, that's gonna hurt.
He'll learn his lesson the hard way.
But hey, get it while it's hot.
But Mark Ingram again, just
Oh, yeah.
being one of
Solid.
the best
Solid.
fantasy investments this year.
Absolutely.
Wow, he had 115 rushing yards and only 15 carries. But he did have that fumble. But he caught 2 for 3 for 29 yards as well.
How about Hollywood Brown? Marquise Brown, what did he do?
Boomer bust like always.
Yeah, let's see. What? 3 for 4, 48 yards. Nice.
Meh.
He was coming back after a 3 weeks absence. Bye week last week, and was out for the Bungles and Seahawks game. But he's been irrelevant since week 1.
Jeez, sure I wish he was in an Eagles uniform.
Yeah.
Somebody's stretched the field. Anybody else of note? What did Brady do?
Let me look.
He's serviceable.
Is there another? Oh, okay.
He threw for 285.
Yep.
Not bad.
Touchdown, pick, sack twice, fumble.
Yeah, how much longer do you think he'll play?
I think
while.
until he gets number 7, till him and Belichick can shove it up the city of Pittsburgh's butt and say we're title town now, and then he leaves. That's my theory.
Will he end his career in a Patriots uniform?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of chatter about that.
Oh, you hear chatter all the time.
I just can't see him in another uniform.
Yeah.
I really.
I still
You hate
think
to see it.
I still believe that story where when they traded Garoppolo, they wanted to trade Brady because Garoppolo had learned they saw the potential. So they wanted to get rid of Brady and have Garoppolo be the new franchise guy. But that would have been weird. I wonder how that would have turned out.
Yeah,
That's true because Tom's from the Bay Area.
Exactly. I still believe that thing. I still believe that rumor that was the plan. But I forget who was loyal to who. And I think Kraft didn't want them to trade him. But Brady, no, I think Belichick saw that Brady wasn't going to be able to play for much longer, but Kraft wanted to remain loyal, so he kept him around. But
well,
I don't know.
Well,
I still think that would have turned
whatever
out
they
interesting.
did, it worked.
Now Jimmy G finds himself on the only undefeated team in the league.
Yeah, you just wonder how long that's sustainable. But
Monday Night Football.
oh boy,
Yeah.
Giants came out like gangbusters, but finished with a whimper. And all I could hear on NFL radio, because I was in the car for the second half, was, "Oh, I can't believe they're not giving Elliott the ball more." Every carry was like 10, 12 yards, and he still got his 100 yards, but he probably could have had 200.
Well,
They'd just
player
given him
of
the rock.
game. The Black Cat, 117 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 9 lives.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
And everybody said that everything went south for the Giants right after the Black Cat. Makes you wonder.
Or if it's the new GOAT, like the Cubs. Will they be cursed for eternity after the Black Cat? You never know.
I think the Giants have been cursed for years. When's the last time they were good? 3 or 4 years.
On the Brady note and the Newton note, what will end up happening to Eli Manning?
He might just
I don't know.
retire.
He's a pretty high-paid clipboard holder right now.
I
It's
can
not a
see
bad gig. He's
quarterback coach.
He's
somewhere.
he's probably delighted. He's not getting sacked every other play,
But his
he's-
paycheck's coming in the mail.
He's
Yeah.
getting paid. He probably feels the best he has in years. Doesn't have to get in the ice bath every week like he used to.
Yeah.
Be curious to see if he hangs it up as a Giant or maybe he goes somewhere else for a swan song.
Chicago.
Gosh, I hope not, but I think it's the end of the line. But, some guys don't want to admit reality.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was a ugly second half, unless you're a Dallas fan.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper started out pretty quiet, and he had that one big play, touchdown at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Can't deny that Cooper's a great fantasy performer this year. Elliott's money in the bank. Even Dak is pretty respectable this year.
Yeah,
so,
your usual suspects in Dallas all had a great fantasy day. Evan Ingram had a good day. Saquon had a quiet day, but still ended up with giving you a decent amount of fantasy points. Yeah.
How did Jason Witten get 9 targets?
He's their tight end.
That's why those 9 targets should have been handoffs to Elliott, and they'd have probably won by 50.
Yeah.
But Jason Garrett's going to be Jason Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
They can get away with that against the Giants, but it's not going to work every week. And, they still got the Patriots on their schedule.
Thanks.
All right, well, that wraps up the week.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Time for your MVP lineup there, Jack.
MVP lineup. And started off at the quarterback position. Russell Wilson, 29 completions, 378 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times, but he also had 21 rushing yards and a 2-point conversion. And he is not the only Seahawk to make the list. So Seahawks fans, be delighted that your team is doing great. But you got San Francisco next week, so good luck with that. So RB1, wow, big surprise. Christian McCaffrey, 24 rushes, 146 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He got 3 for 3 passes for 20 receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. So a total of 3 touchdowns for McCaffrey, and a surprise here at the RB2 as the new man in town, Kenyon Drake, on 15 carries, 110 yards, and a rushing touchdown. He caught 4 for 4 passes for 52 receiving yards. He also got a 2-point conversion. So we'll see if that lasts or he will return to the basement next week. We shall see. And that wide receiver 1, wow, big surprise there. Tyler Lockett, 13 of 18. Wow, 18 targets for a wide receiver is pretty nice.
Wow.
152 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. So, great day for him. And then wide receiver 2, the newly consistent Mike Evans, 12 of 16, 180 yards. And, he didn't get a touchdown, but still 180 receiving yards. That's a very solid day. Then tight end, thank you. Welcome back, Zach Ertz, 9 for 11, 103 yards and a touchdown. You're about 10 weeks late, but we still thank you for your services. Kicker, Chris Boswell. He made a total of, 4 field goals, one that was 50-plus, and 2-point after. Then, well, the reign of terror for the New England defense is over as we have a new sheriff in town. The Houston Texans defense. They only allowed 3 points. They got 4 sacks, 2 picks, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 4-down stops, and 3 tackles for a loss. So clearly they ain't missing Jadeveon Clowney or J.J. Watt, as they really showed out in London. So,
what would the point total have been this week?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
350? No, who knows?
350.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I have the thing I get this off shows how many points each player got. So
That doesn't total them. Don't worry about it.
All right.
It's just something I was curious about more than anything.
Well, Lockett, I think, who led the week in scoring? Yeah, Tyler Lockett was our MVP of the week with 40.2 points, average leagues. So There you go. There's your MVP of the week.
All right.
And branching on into waiver wire.
Yeah. Your power trio.
Untitled segment. But every one of my notes for all these 3 players from last week, they all say, welcome back to irrelevance. So we will welcome back the following 3 players to irrelevance, starting off with Chris Conley with a whole 2 catches for 32 yards. Thanks for nothing. Janu Smith, 3 for 5 for 18 yards. And then Danny Amendola, 3 for 5, 29 yards. So, beautiful. Welcome back to irrelevance. Thank you for nothing. And our new players, I dare put a Miami Dolphin in here, only because it is a rough week in terms of bye weeks. We have some great teams on byes this week.
6
this
teams
week
are on a bye.
We have New England, huge blow. Houston, another huge blow. Phillies in a bye week. The Broncos are on a bye week. Jacksonville's on a bye week, and Washington's on a bye week. But the big thing is New England, Houston, Philadelphia, and Denver all have solid tight ends that would probably be starting in most leagues, like Ertz in Philly, Fant in Denver, probably Darren Fells, and then I think Jared Cook in New England.
No,
Cook's on the Saints.
Cook's on the Saints, yeah.
No,
starting tight
Ryan
end?
Izzo.
Ben Watson.
Oh,
yeah.
Ben Watson. Yeah. I think it's Watson. I got confused because I remember he used to play for the Saints. So yeah, it is Watson. So I threw in Mike Gesicki, former Nittany Lion, tight end for the Miami Dolphins. He caught 6 for 6, 6 of 6 passes for 95 yards against the Jets, which is that's a great day for a tight end. It would have been nice if he could cap it off with a touchdown, but ain't no complaints with 95 yards. They will travel to Indianapolis and play the Colts next week. And then Hunter Renfrow, the wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders, had a great day against the
Lions.
Detroit Lions. Yep, 6 of 7 for 54 yards and a touchdown. At this point, I don't really know how to include Josh Jacobs in this, but in the receiving core, I think he's third behind Williams and Waller. So maybe a guy to watch. Feel like there might be like a Juju Smith-Schuster situation here where Tyrell Williams takes the double coverage and allows Renfrow to catch the football. But we shall see, and obviously we'll see them tomorrow on Thursday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers. So, and then our Hail Mary of the week, running back for the Detroit Lions, J.D. McKissick, 4 rushes for 32 yards. But in the passing game, 3 for 4, 40 yards, and a receiving touchdown. So, I mean, the grand total is 72 yards, all-purpose, and a touchdown. It's not that bad.
Theo Riddick 2.0.
Yep.
More value passing than rushing.
We shall see going forward. He's more of a
receiving back, third down receiving back.
Yeah.
Next, it will be a trip to the Windy City of Washiro.
Yikes.
Yeah. And then as far as anything else in waiver wires, the claim I got in the most this week, the name that came up the most was Devontae Parker. Again, it's yeah, he's worth taking a look at. Low end flex, if anything. But yeah, that's all I got. JR, you got anybody you're looking at?
You know, if you're desperate for a quarterback, Nick Foles is coming back. Minshew magic is over. So maybe something to look at. Keep in mind, no Adam Thielen this week. Talked about Deshaun Jackson, Ronald Jones again. If he's out there in waivers, grab him. He is now the full-time starting back, and Devin Singletary is now the full-time starting back. If he might still be lingering out there on the waiver wire, grab him. But it's slim pickings.
Pick up Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
Do it.
Meh.
Or DK Metcalf if he's still out there somehow, some way. He's proving his worth.
It's true. It's just if you're Russell Wilson pass catcher this year, you're having a good year.
Yeah, Ronald Jones is available in, I think, to say here, 60% of leagues. That's interesting.
It means there's a good shot he's out there, kids.
Kareem Hunt, I can't imagine there's a league that still has him available, but another painful one, it's a Dolphin, Kalen Ballage. Somebody's got to tote the rock, and who's the Watson? Watson got suspended.
Matt Walton, yeah.
Walton, not Watson, Walton. So, yes, Walton is suspended for 4 games, so the Kalen Ballage show, like it or not. And don't forget Zach Pascal, Jack's guy.
Yeah.
Hey, if you need a defense this week and you're the Patriots, the defense are on a bye, pick up the Colts or the Giants, because the Giants are playing the Jets and the Colts are playing Miami.
Yeah.
Sporgy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you're looking for COVID-19 testing, look into Quest, the lab that's processed over 25 million tests and counting. You can get the same test hospitals use without a doctor visit. Simply order online, select from drive-through or at-home options, and get results sent securely to your phone or computer. It's experience and accuracy you can trust from Quest, the largest medical testing lab in the country. So order today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Sporgy.
Well, speaking of this week's games, let's just get right into them. Jack, you already mentioned this. The Thursday night football battle of the West Coast. Chargers heading to Oakland.
How are the Chargers favored? -1. That's all I want to know.
The Chargers looked really good last week.
They're on the road. Prime time.
It doesn't matter. They're always on the road. Have you seen their stadium?
On paper,
Right.
they have a better
You're
offense.
It's a division battle. It could go either way. You know how those games are. It'll be a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to discount what you said, Chris, about Wisenhunt being gone. You know, maybe that's what that team needed. Maybe Wisenhunt was just bad karma for that clubhouse, and now they're going to play harder without him there. There's something to that. They looked like a real inspired football team there against Green Bay. That was my shocker of the week. It wasn't just that they won the game; it was how they won it. They dominated Green Bay in every facet of the game, and Green Bay only had one loss up to that point, and that was to the Eagles, and it was a real close game that came down to the wire. But they were completely dominated in every facet of the game. The Chargers looked like world beaters. So let's see which Charger team shows up this week. They're not going to London.
Yeah. You're still, if you got him, you're still starting Keenan Allen. That's kind of the spot I'm in. And you kind of just hope for the best.
Please, come on. Keenan.
Yeah, Oakland, you're the usual suspects. Your
Waller.
Your
Tyrell
Jacobs.
Williams.
Yeah. Tyrell Williams, he's probably a high-end flex.
Yeah, probably. Jacobs and Waller or must starts.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon actually looks like he's slowly but surely turning into the old Melvin Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was encouraging if you're a Gordon owner.
And I think Hunter Henry at this point has proved himself. If you got him, start him.
Agreed.
He's in the top tier of. He might not be in the elite tier, but he's in the top tier of tight ends this year.
Top 10.
Yeah. The Sunday slate: Detroit at Chicago. Ooh, you like?
Wow, that? Chicago's favored.
Yeah, they're at home.
They're at home, and they have their defense is still formidable. But that offense is truly offensive.
Yeah, you maybe start David Montgomery in a flex play here. But that's from Chicago. That's all I want as far as fantasy wise.
I would not give up on Allen Robinson. That Lions secondary is suspect, but yeah, then you got to rely on Trubisky, and that's a tough proposition. So
I put Robinson and Montgomery in that same flex position. Like,
yeah, yep.
Is it worth?
But with a bye
rostering
week, you
Cohen?
might have to play him.
what was that, Jack?
Is it worth rostering Cohen? I don't think so.
If you're desperate,
It's dire straits.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of guys out on bye week. You might have to do it, and it's painful to watch. But got to hope for that one. Maybe screen pass that turns into a 30-yard touchdown, and that's probably the best you can hope for from Cohen.
He'll pull a ridiculous move on a punt return and go for like a 90-yard touchdown. You'll be sitting there
And then it'll
watching
be.
your TV screen.
Well, no, it won't matter because that would be the Chicago defense's score.
I know.
anyway.
That's why I say you're punching the TV screen. You're very frustrated. You can't do that on Orlando.
and I can't believe I'm about to say this. Matt Stafford might be getting into must-start territory if you
Yes,
have him.
sir.
I just felt dirty saying it, but it's true.
Well,
He's a solid backup. I didn't. I had Jared Goff, and I put him in last week. Ooh, that was good.
Galladay also straying into must-start territory. But anybody else? I think that's. Do you want anyone else on the Lions' offense here, fantasy-wise?
Marvin Jones, iffy.
Is he reliable? That's
No,
the thing.
inconsistent.
hit or miss.
Hail Mary.
He's another flex. Probably low-end flex. I say that, and they'll get 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
again.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think he's a solid flex actually. But
Well, I mean,
you could-
again, bye week.
the ceiling not real high and the floor is very low. So
Well, if you own
Especially against the
D-Hop,
Bears.
Edelman, Courtland
is there any
Sutton.
who's running the rock now? Is it Ty Johnson?
It's who knows.
So what you're saying is
Stay away
don't
from
go-
the backfield.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Yeah, stay away from a Detroit running back. I mean, to put it this way, they were working out Jay Ajayi last week. Come on. You come on. You're Philly guys. Come on.
He was actually okay when he was healthy.
He was all right, but his ball security was horrible. He kept
Yeah.
fumbling all the time.
Didn't he get a
I
ring?
also heard that
Yes, he did.
I gotta bring something up that I heard today that I forgot to mention. We were talking about free agents. Keep an eye on Le'Veon Bell. He had an MRI today, and he's not practicing. He's got a sore knee. And I actually heard that the Jets promoted Josh Adams from their practice squad,
I saw that.
formerly of the Eagles. So, at this point, probably not going to bum too many people out because Bell has been such a bust. I know because I have him. But I don't know if I'm jumping for joy at the Josh Adams show either. So
Yeah.
I think he'd stay away from the Jets backfield, but it is against the Giants. So anybody that's running has a chance against that putrid. We saw Elliott just carve them up last night.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Keep an eye.
moving on down the slate. Start all Ravens because they're playing the Bengals.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. And
Bungles.
And this is going to be the first start for not Andy Dalton. I forget he got benched on his birthday, and then who's supposed to
Stay
be?
classy, Cincinnati.
Yeah, who's supposed to be starting?
Like,
Some guy, caller 10 on the sports station. Who's
Jeez.
man, it's...
see? Jack can't even find
Wait.
it. That's who starting.
Wait. Ryan Finley.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
4th round rookie. Good luck with that.
Ooh.
Good luck with that.
Have fun being under center for
If
an
you
18.
if you own Joe Mixon, as I tend to do in a couple leagues, it's just going to make
Not
it worse.
Not me.
AJ Green's
No.
allegedly coming back.
To what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's just amazing that he didn't get traded for anything.
Yeah, but obviously you start Lamar, you start Mark Ingram. Anyone else in the Baltimore offense, though, you really want? And Mark Andrews has
Marquise
kind of
Brown.
become a ghost.
Yeah, but that probably will change this week.
Marquise Brown.
They've got Hollywood Brown. This could be his week.
But are we starting him now? Is he a flex play? Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Depends where you're
bye
at.
week. I remember a lot of bye week this week.
True, and then,
teams.
and also they're playing the Bengals.
If he's on your roster and you have nobody else to start, you could do worse.
Yeah.
But
Full send.
if you had a full roster, probably he's not going to crack your lineup. But
Here's another game where we're wanting for fantasy starters. Buffalo at Cleveland. I
Now,
mean,
excuse me, odds makers, but why are you favoring Cleveland -3?
home.
I understand they're at home, but you got to be kidding me.
On paper, they have a better. On paper, they have a better team offensively.
But if
No.
you watch football,
on toilet paper.
Yeah, but now, however, watching this year, they do not. But I mean, it's. If Buffalo, you're starting Devin Singletary, and that's it, right?
I feel like if I handed somebody,
Do you really? John Brown, probably not. You got Ward on defense. He's a solid corner for the Browns.
well, who else is there
Yeah.
to catch the football?
This is one of those ones where, gosh, you'd almost have to, it would be a punishment to have to watch this. Unless you're a Bills or Browns fan, you don't want any part of this. That's the one where you're watching the red zone and they go to the red zone highlight during red zone. That's when you go to the bathroom or get another beer or a snack.
Is OBJ a must start?
Don't do it.
No,
It's not worth it.
Not even flex play.
Well, he might torch that defense, but I mean, if Baker Mayfield can get the ball where it needs to be,
I'm not sold.
I have no confidence.
Yeah.
I have no confidence, but you got to play him. If he's in your on him, you got to play him.
Joe Mixon rule.
Yeah, we came up with that last week, JR, the Joe Mixon rule. Like the players that you have to start them even though you don't want to. Like they're having horrible seasons. Like just volume dictates you have to start them.
Keenan Allen's in that club too.
Yes.
Juju Smith-Schuster was in that club, and
Yeah.
I took him out of that club. He's riding pine for me.
Yeah.
Trade him.
I'd love to, but no one wants anything to do with him because they're not dumb.
Yeah.
They see what I see. Nothing.
Yeah. A guy who's having tons of volume and not a great season. Next up on the slate, Kansas City at Tennessee.
Start your Chiefs.
Yeah.
Matt Moore might
Moore.
even be worth starting, I think.
Gotta do it. Have Brady, Watson, Wentz, or
There's a lot of quarterbacks
Watson or
off the board this week. You might have to go with Moore. You could do worse.
The problem is, though, with the Chiefs, the only people that you are for sure that you know to start every week are Tyreek Hill and
Kelsey.
Everyone else is like, get out the dartboard.
Yep. I agree strongly. I'm still thinking Damian Williams has hope.
Yeah. It seems like Derrick Henry is the only thing worth owning in a Tennessee uniform.
Agreed.
That's barely worth owning. Atlanta at New Orleans. This in years past, this is a great game. This year,
Blowout potential.
blowout, but also shootout potential.
Is Kamara back?
We shall see.
It should be after a bye. Should be all nice and healthy.
I'll tell you what, I've really been enjoying him being out because I don't have Kamara on any leagues, but I have see here. There it is. It doesn't say what his status
Doesn't
is.
say much.
Questionable with an ankle, but Latavius Murray is just really filled in nicely for him, and I would love to see Murray. I would love to see Murray in just for selfish reasons, but obviously, Saints fans, you're really looking forward to Alvin being back. I don't know what his status is. I know they just had a bye, so he's had time to rest that ankle.
He is expected to return.
Yep. So, I'd still be optimistic that Latavius Murray will still have some action.
Zach Zenner? Why do I know that name?
Yeah, he
He was a Lion.
Well, he got cut by the Saints, so sorry. He was behind Latavius Murray and he was cut.
Well, now that's a sure sign that Kamara should be back, because he was probably brought in as the the next man up running backs, and with Kamara returning, there's no room for him, no soup for him. But I still think that Murray's a good flex option, even with Kamara in the mix. I think they'll probably bring Alvin back slowly, and Murray's been solidly productive. And it's kind of like another thunder and lightning show down there. So, if you have a bunch of guys missing on a bye week and you got to plug in Murray, I would think you could do that with some reasonable certainty that you'll get at least a halfway decent production out of him. Yeah. Maybe not a huge lighted up 30-point day or anything, but you can probably expect 12 or 15 from him.
Yeah, you're starting Breeze, you're starting Michael Thomas. Hey, those are no-brainers. On the other side, no-brainers, you're starting Matt Ryan, you're starting Julio, you're starting Austin Hooper.
Is Ryan back?
He's supposed to be. I mean,
I didn't realize that.
He was saying, and his coach was saying before the bye week, like there was no doubt he was coming back after it. So
let's just see what I have here. Yep. Questionable injury, ankle. Expected back after the bye week. Same thing. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, certainly good news for Falcons fans.
Mm-hmm.
And a lost season, but that's probably good news for Julio. Good news for Ridley owners.
Mm-hmm.
But Saints are pretty formidable. A lot of their games are low scoring.
Yeah, against that Saints defense, I don't know if I'm recommending Ridley for a flex this week.
No, I'd say Julio is probably the only. Julio and Hooper.
Yeah.
Probably not Devontae Freeman.
No.
Unless you're desperate.
Yeah. The Battle of New York is next. Ooh.
Start.
Yuck. Start Saquon, start Evan Ingram. That's it. That's all I got for you out of this game.
End of list.
Start the Jets defense against the turnover-prone Daniel Jones.
You could go either defense here, honestly. With the wheel, honestly.
I think that any defense facing the Giants is worth a shot right now. I really do. After seeing what I saw last night, the Jets actually have a pretty good statistical defense if you look them up.
That's true.
They have their offense is a dumpster fire, but I'm still confident that you might get a scoop and score and a bunch of sacks against the Daniel Jones just looked like a deer in the headlights last night.
Yeah.
Apart from the actual game, since this is the Battle in New York, what do you think the fan proportion will be? Fan ratio.
100% New York fans.
A lot of bags.
Yeah.
It's technically a Jets home game.
Yeah.
So it is.
All the branding will be Jets, but
the Jets are actually plus 2.5. Therefore, Giants are favored.
I predict everyone in that statement will root for New York. Everyone in that stadium. Arizona at Tampa Bay, the Southwest visiting the Southeast.
I'm expecting a shootout.
Jet lag the opposite way.
A lot of points. Bet your Mike Evans, Jameis Winston, who probably throw for 400 yards and 4 picks.
Yeah.
Ronald Jones flex.
Ronald Jones, I like Ronald Jones. Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. I don't know what's going on with the running back situation there. Who to start, if anybody.
Go to Drake. Do it.
I guess just do your homework and see who's hurt and who's playing, and you could probably plug in and play whoever that player is.
Questionable David Johnson, and we have a doubtful Chase Edmonds. So the only sure play here is Drake.
Well, we'll see if he's a one-hit wonder or if his renaissance from being exiled out of Miami is a
reward,
a lasting, fruitful proposition.
Exiled, I'd call it paroled. Speaking of Miami, Dolphins at the Colts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Potential.
Is there any fantasy player you want in this game? Maybe Marlon Mack.
T.Y. Hilton's injured, isn't he?
I believe so.
I think he's out.
Zach Pascal, why not?
We don't think Brissett will be back. They would be foolish to rush him back against the lowly Dolphins, but who knows? Zach Pascal has been performing no matter even last week without Brissett.
Devontae Parker.
Oh.
Don't do it. Don't start a Dolphin.
Yeah, like I said, the only person I think you're starting in this game is Marlon Mack. Yeah.
And the Colts defense.
Colts defense.
Absolutely.
That's a plug-and-play streaming defense for sure this week.
Carolina at Green Bay. Oh, man. The now Cam Newton-less Panthers heading to Green Bay. CMC versus Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, my Lord.
You got to think Rodgers is going to bounce back from that hard performance last week. And you got to think that Adams will be more effective after coming back.
Williams.
You got to park those. You got to start those two guys. What's going on with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams? Is it still whoever's the hot hand, or are they both playing? Are they both healthy?
Yeah.
Because I had Jamal Williams last week and I didn't play him, and boy, am I glad I didn't. So I don't know. I think that's one of those. You got two guys, so do you really have anybody? But we've had weeks where we saw Jones had huge 2 weeks, and we had weeks where Williams is. You just don't know what you're going to get.
And I think at Green Bay, you start Aaron Rodgers, you start Devontae Adams. That's it as far as must starts on the Green Bay side of the ball. Carolina
Are you rostering Jimmy Graham?
No. It's not 2009, kids.
Exactly.
It's 2019. On Carolina,
Gymnastics period.
Carolina, DJ Moore, maybe.
Yeah, I'd call him a flex play. Christian McCaffrey.
DJ Moore is like an 8-point guy every week.
Yeah, McCaffrey's a must start.
Yes, sir.
Every week.
Curtis Samuel's probably a flex, maybe.
Maybe Greg Olsen.
With no Cam Newton, does Greg Olsen have any fantasy value?
I feel like Greg Olsen and Jimmy Graham are the same person.
Yeah, I agree. Once very productive, and now in the twilight of their careers.
This is
I think you
1920.
could probably put what's his name, Jason Witten in that crowd too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All three probably need to be put out to pasture.
Yeah. The Rams at Pittsburgh. You're starting Cooper Kupp. You're starting.
Are you
Todd,
starting Jared Goff?
No.
I have him in one league, and I've been starting him. And then Stafford, I put in Stafford. He gets 400 yards. Has he earned the starting role?
I'm starting Stafford.
I think I'm going to start Stafford. Jared Goff's just way too inconsistent. Plus, he's a pick machine.
I think the only Rams that you are starting are Gurley and Kupp that are must starts.
Yep.
Robert Woods no more.
Everyone else is a flex
Robert
play.
Woods is dead to me. That's another dead to me guy. Robert
Drafted
Woods.
him
What
so
happened?
high.
Where has he gone?
Took the L.
Where has Robert Woods gone?
Doesn't exist.
I think he's on a milk carton somewhere.
Yeah. And then Pittsburgh. Ooh.
I'm done with Smith-Schuster.
James Conner. Well, he's an iffy because we don't know if he's going to play.
I feel like we're supposed to tell you to start Juju because he's their number one receiver, but his performance this year is awful.
You know what? I'm still going to say Keenan Allen is one of those painfully got to start him, but I'm no longer looking at Smith-Schuster that way. He's burned me so many times that I'm done with him.
Yeah.
I'm benching him. I'll put Pascal in over him. That's how disgruntled I am.
Wow. It's a statement.
Salty.
JR's making it.
No. Hey, man, I'll trade Smith-Schuster for a box of cornflakes right now.
Aguilar.
Sunday night. This is going to be shootout alert. The Vikings heading to the Jerry Dome, taking on the Cowboys. Has Thielen already been ruled out?
Yes, I believe he's doubtful.
So no, you're starting Diggs. Unfortunately, Diggs is in that Joe Mixon club. You got to start him, especially with no Thielen. You're starting Diggs. You're starting Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is getting in kind of must-start territory if you got him.
Brady, Watson, and Wentz out. Got to do it.
Yeah, and then the Dallas side of the ball, you got the triplets. Your new age triplets. You're starting. Your Dak. Your Amari. Your Zeke. Anyone else that's in must-start territory in this game, guys?
Not a must-start, but Michael Gallup might be worth a look.
Never know.
By the way, Thielen is likely to sit out Week 10 for RotoWire. So
blow.
Chilling me Smalls.
It might enhance Diggs, or it might cause them to double team Diggs because who else is left? Nobody of fantasy relevance.
Maybe we'll have a scrub that is like the third string because
Kyle
it's moved up
Rudolph.
the depth chart.
Kyle Rudolph.
Got to do it.
What was his name? Treadwell seemed to be the guy that was getting the ball in place of Thielen last Sunday.
Yeah, you're not going there. I'm not going
Can't
there.
do it.
Can't do it.
But everybody will doubt him, and then he'll go off. It's a Chiefs situation. One gets injured, and then some scrub comes in, has a great game, and then is invisible for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damian Robinson Jr.
DeMarcus Robinson.
DeMarcus
Byron
Robinson.
Pringle.
Oh, same guy. Byron Pringle.
yeah, there you go. Byron Pringle. Treadwell's second coming.
And yeah, Monday Night Football.
Ooh, good game.
Oh, we have a good game this week, I think.
Finally, a decent Monday Night Football. Seattle at San Francisco.
Oh,
San
yeah.
Francisco.
That'd be good.
Wow, I'm surprised San Francisco is favored.
Russell Wilson.
-6.
Yeah.
You got to start Russell Wilson. You got to start. I don't know, Jimmy G. I think I'd start Jimmy G. This could be a shootout.
Start Tevin Coleman.
I see. This is
Well-
San Francisco backfield. None of them are must starts. None of it because it's 3-headed monster.
Well, you
if
never
you
know.
if you started Tevin Coleman last week after his 4th touchdown performance, you were highly disappointed.
Visible.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
So I don't mean the San Francisco
Well, who's the other
backfield.
one?
I don't want
What,
none of it.
Rita?
I think you're starting Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes, you are.
Yep. Watch out for Kittle. I heard he might not play. Let me see.
Oh, no.
Let me look that up.
Please no.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Chris
Kid-
Carson's an automatic.
Yeah.
Lockett, automatic. DK Metcalf, maybe. Flex.
What's the
We
thing
shall see
on
what Josh
Seattle?
Allen does.
Yeah.
Hey, Kittle did not practice Tuesday.
Oh no.
On Seattle.
49ers won't release their first injury report until Thursday. He got till Monday, so
Oh yeah.
says that he was sent in for an MRI following last week's game with Arizona. If you remember, he got dinged in the knee really bad, and he came back in and played.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently, that's pretty sore. So keep an eye on it.
Like with Seattle, your only must starts are Wilson and Lockett, and it pains me to say Lockett because I gave Tyler Lockett so much shit at the beginning of this season of like, oh,
You got
is,
to play Chris Carson too.
is he going to be the guy that's getting you to the playoffs? Yeah, correct. Chris Carson, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and watch that Kittle thing because that's Monday night. So if you rely on him and he can't go,
Who's behind?
you're going to be stuck with no tight end if he's inactive. So you might want to spruce up the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Do we have
How
any
about some bold predictions?
Some bold predictions. I like bold predictions. Anyone have any? Anyone got any chambered?
I don't know why, but
I'm going to
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. You go. Still thinking about it.
No, I'm going to go out on a limb thinking about this Monday night game, and I think the Niners get their first loss.
Oh,
Damn.
I think they're going to take the L. I think Russell Wilson's got the hot hand. Is the game in the Bay Area or up in Seattle?
Bay
He's in the
Area.
Bay Area.
Well, I still think they're taking the L.
Damn.
Stand by my bold prediction. Seattle knocks the 49ers out of the unbeaten ranks, spurring a champagne celebration for the 1972 Dolphin alumni.
Yep. Because yeah, it's Don Shula's already getting one good night's sleep. Now he's got to get another. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to steal one at Lambeau. CMC is a machine this year. CMC MVP. That's what's happening this year.
You can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say that Buffalo was going to go down, but I have no belief in the Factory of Sadness after they already ruined my first bold prediction. So I'm going to say that in his return, Mr. Matt Ryan somehow, someway beats the Saints in New Orleans.
Wow, that would
Devontae
be a
Freeman.
That is a bold prediction, sir.
That's a very bold prediction, and Devontae Freeman decides to play football as a good game, and Julio Jones gets 120 receiving yards.
Well, you got to think they will be inspired to have Ryan back, but that Atlanta defense is going to
It's
give up
horrible.
a lot of points, I think.
Some might call
God
it
bless you.
the boldest of predictions.
That's a very bold prediction.
That took some stones.
Yeah.
You still never know with, Kamara and stuff. I don't know. There's a few question marks. New Orleans.
All right. Good stuff.
All right. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for everyone who's been listening. Thank you. I see you. You're there. You're listening. Make sure you go and leave us a rating or a review on wherever you listen to your podcast, because we're everywhere. We're on Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, ChristopherMedia.net, Stitcher, anywhere you listen. We are at the Fantasy Hack on Twitter, also at Sporty Podcast on Twitter, the Fantasy Hack at ChristopherMedia.net. Check us out every Wednesday. Thanks everybody who has been listening. If you like it, tell a friend. Clock's ticking. It's already week 10. We're already in double digits. Oh, so sad. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Look, everybody, must wins this week.
And Young.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
If you look around, you'll see the world can be pretty smart. Okay, very smart. At Capella University, we think education should be smart too. That's why we're reshaping online learning with our FlexPath format. You can set your own deadlines, take classes at your own pace, even leverage your previous experience to move faster. So when it comes to earning your bachelor's degree, you know what kind of choice to make. A smart one. Visit capella.edu to learn more. Capella University. Don't just learn smarter.
What's up? It's Sierra, new member and ambassador for WW Weight Watchers Reimagined. Since joining, I feel healthier and more confident than ever. The new My WW Plus, our most holistic program ever, gives you more of what you need to lose weight, like tools to help boost your mindset, get you moving, and plan meals based on what you have on hand. Plus, over 300 zero-point foods you don't have to track. The new My WW Plus, more holistic, more personalized, more weight loss.
Join today with a limited time offer at WW.com.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.